Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Travis Snell.
I'm Liam Grogan.
Yes, and we are here to do the superhero news roundup. Just like the bad guys, we round up all the superhero news of what month did we just get out of? May 2016.
Aunt May.
Hot Aunt May. I really want them to be a couple.
Well, they were, I guess.
No, but I want like Downey and her in the future ones, like Ant-Man and Robert Downey.
Yeah, so if we can get rid of Gwyneth Paltrow, I like the character Pepper Potts, but I very much just like Gwyneth Paltrow.
And Uncle Ben's definitely dead, but yes, here we are. If you're listening to this years,
I hope so.
What?
I hope so.
That'd be kind of weird. If you're listening to this years in advance, 2016 May, as usual, we go over all the big news of May and just throw in one nice big buffet, like I said, pluffer news, and we get into it. Now, 2 times in a row we've forgotten this, so we're going to start with this. Do you have any comic book recommendations? We started the first episode, and we always said, at the end of the episode, that's how we'll end it off. Past 2 ones we've always forgot. So I've put in my notes, we're starting with that. Do you have anything to recommend, an issue, or anything from the past you've read?
Okay.
Because we always say and then we just forget. So I was like,
well, you know what? I'm going to give a little preview, or I guess back it up, depending on which podcast you watch first, for our top 5 comic book writers.
This would be before.
This would be before. Yes. All right, it's a little preview, but I'm going to go with Neil Gaiman's Sandman series.
Oh, okay.
Have you read that?
Once, a long time ago.
Yeah,
I really want to read it again.
I got to reread it again, too. I read it probably about 5-6 years ago, but it's one of those ones that you read it, and you enjoy it, and then once you finish the whole series, you kind of just sit and you just kind of go, holy shit, that was really good.
And I hear it gets better with rereads, so that's why I'm always like, I want to reread it again. It's just one of those you read. I didn't own it, and I actually had, like, someone had whatever, I don't know if the graphic novel, had a bunch of them. I read them, gave it by, and I've always wanted to, like, buy it for myself personally, because I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And when they had, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was supposed to be in the movie, but that was canned. But that was really like, man, before that movie comes out, I promise I'm going to read it. Now that movie's kind of canned, I'm like, well, I have to.
It's a shame, because I've also read a lot of his books. Like, I just finished American Gods, which I do highly recommend if you haven't seen it.
Do you know they're making a TV show of that?
I could see that.
The guy that's doing it, though, is Brian Fuller. I know you haven't watched it, but I recommend it highly to everybody. It's Hannibal. The showrunner is doing that. So it has
the only thing is he needed to cut some things out of that book, I think, because there's a lot of characters that were introduced that, and you can afford to do this in a novel, that were like, they were introduced and they served their point in a chapter or 2, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
And I didn't really like that.
Yeah. Because
there's some things you're like expecting them to come back and they don't, and maybe that's just part of the narrative. But my issue is that he did create so many great characters. The fact that they do kind of go by the wayside and you're really just kind of stuck with Shadow kind of bothers me. But my recommendation would be Sandman by Neil Gaiman. I want to give no spoilers. It is a wonderful, wonderful series.
That's a good pick. I'll pick 3, but they're all like current issues right now, so that's why I'm picking 3. It's not a cheat. It's going to look quick. I've said it before on other casts. I'm enjoying it, but I've never recommended it. You should read the X-23 series with female Wolverine, clone Wolverine. Very, very good. Just been a lot of fun. Squirrel Girl was in the last episode, or last issue, and it actually made me for one time like Squirrel Girl, and now if am I gonna pick up a Squirrel Girl comic? I've legit, and people said it's good, so I'm like, oh man, another rabbit hole might go down.
I won't.
No, I know you won't, but it was a really fun issue. And then the other 2, I haven't read Black Panther #2, but the reboot for Black Panther #1 is great. Really good start, and Moon Knight #1. I think it's supposed to just be a 6-part miniseries, but it's really good.
I never got into Moon Knight.
You should.
It's and when I say that, it's
just
not
a miniseries. So if you want to,
I think I might. And to say that when I say I haven't got into it, I mean I've never really looked into the character.
Yeah.
I know the character, but it's never been. I don't know. It's same with like X-Men. I know X-Men, but I've never really had a desire to pick up an issue.
Yeah.
The stories that I do is like the Infinity Gauntlet or even Civil War when they're part of it. So and that's when I like them because I don't know.
Yeah.
There's only a couple X-Men that I really care about.
That's fair.
And the one that I really care about is Wolverine. So I'll read his issues.
Yeah.
But I won't necessarily go into the X-Men necessarily.
That's fair. Yeah, you kind of have to like that whole team. But, speaking of Moon Knight, this has been rumored a couple times. I don't know if we've ever talked about it, so we'll talk about it now. There's rumors that they're going to make a Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and Blade Netflix series. Honestly, watch them all. But how do you feel about those 3? How are those?
I could be less interested in all of those 3.
Wow. All right, because you didn't like the Blade movies.
No, I like them.
Okay.
They're just not one of my favorites, but I do really enjoy them, and I really like Wesley Snipes. I think he works better as a movie, to be honest. But that being said, Marvel's killing it with what they have for TV shows. Ghost Rider.
I worry.
Yeah, right. If you can get the movie's taste out of my mouth, then maybe. But like,
and like the good thing is, like those weren't like the MCU ones, so it's like that makes me honestly right away makes you feel more comfortable. Like like oh, it's okay. Like this guy's flown a lot, but it's like with the other studio, I don't know who had it. Maybe it was Fox. I don't think it was Fox. I can't remember who had it, but it was just this thing of like, oh, it's our first time flying, and it's like, oh man, like,
and we got Nick Cage.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like in Nick Cage, you're flipping a coin if it's shitty, and somehow they managed to do 2 movies where he was shitty.
Oh, and they tricked me. Have you ever seen the second one?
Yeah,
they tricked me because it's like, oh, this is great. Idris Elba's in there, who at that point I didn't know, but people just told me he's a great actor. I think it was just when Luthor was starting, and I hadn't watched it yet.
Oh, see, I knew him from Rock and Roller prior.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, he was in that. Okay, I did see him that, but I didn't know him by name. People were like, oh, it's great. So like. Oh, and the guys that did Crank were directing. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, I got actually really excited. I remember going with my sister, and like my sister was younger at the time, and she even thought it was awful. So that's when it's like someone under 16 is like, this is a bad movie. That's when you know. And I was like, yeah, this is not good. Like, it's not like... That's my bulldog if you hear him in the background. He's guesting on this episode in place of Kyle, who's Montreal.
Yeah, he also dislikes Ghost Rider.
Yeah, yeah, big time. Shout out to Kyle. Happy birthday to Kyle. He's a Montreal.
It is his birthday today, yeah.
So I don't know if he'll ever listen to this, but it's his birthday. Don't party too hard. But, yeah, Moon Knight can work to me because he's like a New York street fighter.
Yeah, I can see it.
The only one I don't know is he has a ship that's the shape of a crescent moon, so that kind of makes me wonder of how they do that on Netflix.
Probably just not.
Yeah, that's what I was
that being said, what I wouldn't mind is if Ghost Rider was kind of like how Luke Cage was in Jessica Jones.
Appears somewhere and then goes, or like
just appears. So like you have, well, not he's
Sorry,
just
Nick Cage.
Yeah, he just doesn't like walk by in the background, but like
who's that fireman?
So like if he was part of like a mini arc,
yeah,
especially if they did that with the Punisher, I think that'd be really cool.
I think that, or even maybe they could use him to somehow appear in Doctor Strange. This is my thing I think we talked about with Jones and, not Daredevil, because I didn't feel that way. Some people did, but with Jones, they definitely could have come to some episodes. If they said they were doing, like, a 6-episode series of Ghost Rider, I'd be like, oh, okay, that could maybe work. But it makes me worry when it's, like, a 13-episode of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, also, I don't like 13 episodes. I wish they would just kind of do, like, 10 or 12. Like, 13 just seems like an arbitrary number.
Why do you not like 13 opposed to 12? 10 I get, but the 12, how come, like, you just want that one extra shape? I think...
No, it just feels weird that they just pick, like, an arbitrary number. Like, if you're doing, like British shows do it, like, they'll do, like, 6 for their series, and then if they do a next series, it'll be another 6, but really it's just one typical American season. It's 12, that's why I said 12. But it just seems like 13 is, like, an arbitrary number, and it's like, oh, we're going to do, like, 14 episodes. But next year is going to be, like, 9. Next one after that's 16.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, I think I've said this before. I wish they would just do whatever they needed. You know, like write the arc, and they're like, hey, this needs 10 episodes, but obviously because
there's definitely some episodes of Jessica Jones that I think they could have cut out. I would also argue that there's not episodes in Daredevil that could have been cut out, but I think maybe they could have tightened some of the second season up, especially with the stuff with what the hell are they called? The Yakuza. Oh, the Hand, and the Yakuza. Just like
on the hand. Don't say the foot. That's Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Honestly, that's how I was thinking it because I just watched a bunch of Ninja Turtle stuff this morning.
Which by the way, I saw the Michael Bay one for the first time last week.
How bad is it?
Yeah, by the time this came out, if you want to check out our newest GeekVerse podcast called Netflix and Fail, myself, Dylan, and our secretary Emily watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. God, it was awful. Yeah. Because it's 1 star on Netflix, and that's the rule for people if they want to check it out. We watch movies that are under 2.5. So movies on Netflix that are fail, and we decide, are they actually a fail? And I thought it's ranked on a 1 for me, so for everybody else rating is different. It was ranked as 1. I did not think it could be that bad. I gave it like a half star as my end rating. Spoiler, like that was bad.
Yeah,
that was really bad. And I didn't think it could be that bad. I'm like, oh, Michael Bay, whatever. Like that's why I avoided it. But I'm like, man, that was bad.
Yeah, he is just a certain. I don't know. I don't get it. I can't believe. Did the first one really make that much money?
I think it did. I think it made like $500 million.
Did it really? Because I remember it did like relatively well, but I thought it was enough that I was like, you know what? You made okay money. We could do a second one, but this movie was so bad. Yeah. Let's just not do it. The only thing that makes me sad is that I really like Will Arnett. And I'm sure
he's the best part of the movie, even though he had awful lines.
And well, that's the thing.
Yeah. Anyways, you're saying about Daredevil.
Yeah, I think they just could have tightened up the Hand storyline a little bit. Same with Elektra's overall storyline. I think they could have tightened it up, not take anything out, just like, I don't know, just made it a little bit more concise.
Yeah, like there's stuff like her trying to leave, mini spoiler, but her trying to leave and somebody sending an assassin after her, and then she comes back. They could have just kind of just said she was just there, like wanted to stay there. You know, like before she tries to leave. Like there's a couple stuff I'd agree. It's funny. I like the second season better.
Oh no, without a doubt, I definitely did as well.
But I think the first one's tighter for some reason, which is strange to say. I would like the first one better, but I like the second one.
I think the first season built more efficiently.
Yeah.
The way that you were slowly introduced to Kingpin I thought was really effective.
And even that, to that, not Daredevil, but just the idea of what he'd become.
Yeah, but I think in the second one, because you have the Punisher plot line, then you have Elektra, then you have Daredevil, then you have everything that's going on with Foggy, and like it's a lot of things to juggle. Yeah, and whereas in the first season he actually does lawyer stuff a little bit more, which I kind of liked. Yeah. But like the way that you're introduced to Kingpin,
except you never saw him go to like trial. That's what I did like in season 2
with
Punisher. I always like you saw so much stuff, but when it came to court, like we settled it, and it's like CSI, like we caught him. It's like don't I get to see any of this? Like,
the one thing that I will say is like just also a mini spoiler when Matt finally does like, I guess, cross-examine the Punisher, and he was doing a good job, and the Punisher just, like, breaks down what they agreed to do, and then Foggy's like, Matt, you fucked up! It's
I know.
And it's like, I was kind of like, okay, Foggy, ease up. The man just went totally fucking nuts.
Oh, I know.
Don't worry, I got a whole... You should see what I'm doing at night. Just binge-watch the season. Just... Okay, I got things going on.
Yeah, it's like that, and like that happens a lot in wrestling. I hate when like guys you're supposed to like make the like bonehead thing, and that's why I've never fully can like Foggy, because he just comes off as such a bonehead. I know he's supposed to be like the everyday man, but no, that scene I know it would never get, but like that scene for me, and between the graveyard scene, made me actually think that he should at least get nominated for an Emmy, because that scene, like courtroom, and he's like, "You want the Punisher? Like I'll be the Punisher. I'd kill him again." Like it was really really well done by John Bernthal. Like he was angry, but it was, you could tell.
And there was only a couple times that he broke down into like his John Bernthal-isms, as I call them. Like in The Walking Dead, he'd always like ran his hand on his head, scratched, goes, "Let me ask you something." Yeah. In this one, every time he's about to deliver an important line, he looks to the side and then looks back at the person he's delivering to it. Yeah. Because I noticed that the whole season, because he did that in The Walking Dead too.
But I kind of like that, because at least like with Shane, it's not the same performance, but Shane is definitely like a bad Punisher in a way. Like they're not very similar characters, but the way he would play them would be very similar. Yeah. So
and by the way, that is not a shot at John Bernthal's acting, because like he is phenomenal.
He retweeted one of our tweets.
Yeah, and like he's awesome. Like I really like him, but he does have that tell. Yeah. Like every actor like kind of has. Oh that, for sure. Has like their thing, and I think that's his is like to the side and then look right back at you like. Let me tell you something. Mm-hmm. But no, I guess back to the original question. If they want to do those, I just think there might be better characters that they could choose to do a miniseries on.
Well, I guess their thing is, I guess they're stuck with what do they do for Netflix and what do they do for the movies, right? Because it's one of these things of I don't think you're gonna get a Moon Knight movie. I don't think Blade. I don't think. I don't.
Is Wesley Snipes gonna come back? I know he's talked about it.
There's rumors, and there is supposed to be a new Blade comic book starting up with him like training. It supposedly has a daughter, and she's gonna take over the mantle. So that could kind of be cool of him like training a female that's his daughter to like take over. And then with Ghost Rider, I just don't think you could get another movie out of that. You know, like I feel like the well's kind of been poisoned. Like I feel like that has a bad taste. It's almost. They're bigger, but it's almost like I just don't know what you do with Fantastic Four, you know, which we could go... We'll transition into right now is because they re-announced that they want to make it 2.
Okay, so I guess that'll kind of go with my comment here. Yeah. So I think what Marvel's done a really good job that obviously DC's kind of shitting the bed on is they had an idea from the very get-go that we wanted to do the Infinity War.
We want to get from here to here.
Well, so Iron Man, I guess so. To start, we want to get here to the Avengers, then the Avengers to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Phases, as they're called, which is a good idea. Instead, just like, we're gonna get to here and not.
And
it's like they have chapters,
which is nice because they've set that. And then with the TV shows, because we have Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones, and that's going to go into the Defenders. And Iron Fist, yes, and that's going into the Defenders, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I always get them and Inhumans mixed up when I'm looking at the launch thing.
Stopping off point. Yeah, but they'll probably just keep doing Defenders season 1, 2. Like there'll always be some big evil to bring them back together, right?
Yeah, so they have that. That's their end point with Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, and what was the other one? Blade. What brings those 3 together?
Well, the question is Blade. Somehow I could see him or if it's her to the Defenders. I could see that, and Even Moon Knight, because Moon Knight's technically like fighting around New York, so technically they could do that. Ghost Rider's the one that's kind of strange.
But it would feel weird to have those three together. Like, because we look Jessica Jones' case, she's got power.
Oh, yeah,
Luke Cage is a little strong.
Fit,
like,
yeah.
they all fit together. They kind of add something to it. It's kind of like the X-Men. Everybody's kind of got their role. Whereas if you were to put those three together, it would just seem really hodgepodge. And I think that'd be a bit of an issue story-wise. So if they do it, I'm sure they'll have something that together. But I almost wonder if they need to kind of focus on what made them successful. Stick to their good characters. Not that those aren't good. Sorry. let me rephrase that. To their well-known characters that people kind of care about. And yeah, Jessica Jones is, first of all, they need more female superheroes. To be fair, but I think it's going to become a time when it's and TV shows a little different. Unless
but then I raise the question of what popular ones have they not done yet that they don't have the rights to? That's my thing.
Okay, that's another point.
Fantastic Four is one, obviously, if they had, boom. If they had X-Men, boom. Even if they had, like, Namor, like the fucking Underdweller guy. Mm-hmm. Like, are we missing one more person they don't have the rights to? Like, they got Spider-Man, because there's Spider-Man.
Do they have the rights to him, or do they just have the rights?
They're, like, sharing. It's this weird thing where it's, like, they're writing, creating, get, like, a percentage of the money, but then Sony. It's the thing of, like, if you make pretty much they're just making movies and distributing them through Sony. Mm-hmm. That's what it is, and it's, like, the deal, so, like, we can use Spider-Man forever.
Well, and they don't have Deadpool.
Yeah, and that's the other big one.
Silver,
any of the
Galactus,
X-Men,
Silver Surfer.
Except for Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch for some reason. I still would love to know how that even happened in some sort of like legal
okay, but
thing.
how do they have Quicksilver?
Because I guess technically they're both an Avengers IP and an X-Men IP, but it's like you would think one lawyer would have been like, "Hey, let's change this." Like it's super weird because like
probably had Foggy Nelson on Marvel's side.
Yeah,
just to do that.
So it's like, and they've like that's my thing of why I think they are going that route of they have got everybody back. So it's one of the thing of I don't know what else they could do. And with the Moon Knight and Ghost Rider, like I said, as a Netflix series, I'm more okay. Let's see how it goes. And we don't even know if there's a big plan. They may just do a one season thing or something like that, or a mini series. Yeah. I don't think they will, because I think they'll all be successful. Like they just announced, like Disney's doing everything exclusively through Netflix now. So Star Wars, they get everything. So it's like I doubt there's going to be just like a one season Moon Knight. Like it's all about what's successful, right? But I think it's just. I guess as long as it's almost the way if they run it like the movies, as long as each TV show has its own separate team, I think they'll be okay. Because if there's too many people juggling things, I think that could get too much. But if they have like, okay, these writers and directors are doing Jessica Jones, these writers and directors are doing Ghost Rider, right? So,
well, the one thing that I think they're going to really run into an issue with, and same with the Fantastic Four, is
that's run into many issues.
Yeah, well, no. But I mean, like they're telling their big stories. They've done Civil War, and they're going to do Infinity War. Mm-hmm. And I'm
excited to see where they go next.
Well, see, and that worries me. Are they just going to recast, and do they do it again?
Yeah.
But, like, I think they're going to make, I can't even imagine how much money in the next couple years of all this stuff.
Especially Infinity War. Like, especially because they're stretching out to 2, putting all the characters together will be huge, and like even with Civil War, it's in my notes we're talking about, like even then, like I thought it would make 200 million, it didn't, but it still ended up being like 5th biggest opening and Cap's biggest opening. Like they're just printing money over there. Other than Alice in Wonderland, Disney's just printing money.
But Disney. Yeah, X-Men didn't open. I thought X-Men would have done better than it did.
I see people said I think
because it did 68 this weekend.
It did 68, and then like overall with Memorial made like over 80 million. But like for me, I was thinking maybe 85, so like for me I was like 5 million short. The reason I didn't think it would do is because Days of Future Past, you remember, had everyone back of the old cast, right? Mm-hmm. So that made, I think it was like 150 million. I expected a big drop off the same way as like Iron Man 3 didn't make what Avengers made, right? That's the same way as like
but I still thought it would be more significant. Like, but it had a good weekend, but it just kind of was like, well, it was okay weekend.
I think it's that.
Fucking Angry Birds is still doing good in theaters.
Yeah, I think it's that, and I know we talk about this all the time. I legitimately, as of right now, do not think it's any superhero fatigue. I think it's superhero fatigue, and there's been 4 movies and so close together, and I think that was my problem of, I always said this when we started this cast, I feel like X-Men would have done much better if it came out next year. And it's not even the thing of like, X-Men, whether it's a good or bad movie, or like superhero fatigue, I just feel that you had BVS, which was disappointing, but a huge movie, and Civil War, big movie. I feel like X-Men in general, as far as superheroes, is just like, I feel like people still want to see it, but it's like, I'll catch that one on Netflix or a Cheap Tuesday because I've already seen the biggest ones, you know. And
yeah, and it's kind of, and to be honest, the trailers did no favors. It looks real. Not admittedly, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
it looks pretty generic, pretty
plus
by the numbers.
a lot of new cast members. Like other than your Jennifer Lawrence, it's all the new people are like. Sure, Sophie Turner, I'm sure has a following, but I don't think they need to go. They're not running on droves to pay and see her, right?
Oh my God, Sansa! But yeah, and I think it's funny because we had Deadpool,
in
phenomenal.
February.
Then we had Batman vs Superman,
March,
awful. Civil War,
May.
great. Apparently X-Men is like meh.
It's
so I
I
wonder if Doctor Strange is next, right?
No, Suicide Squad.
So I wonder if Suicide Squad's going to be
Has a
great,
big
and then
break.
Doctor Strange is going to suck if we're following this pattern.
Well, maybe as far as box office, I think they're actually in good positions because what are we in now? We're in June now. Big break until Squad, at least 2.5 months, and then Doctor Strange in November, which I'd like to see. Like other than the special effects, I don't think Doctor Strange is going to have a huge budget. You know, like she's a great actress, but I don't think Tilda Swinton is like pulling in a Downey $50 million deal or like even $10 million deal. Like I'd be even, maybe $1 million around there, but like I think that one will do good. I think they're spaced out. I think it can happen, but X-Men even would have been better. I don't understand why it didn't come out in June. I didn't understand why would you have it come out the same month as Civil War. To me, that I wouldn't have put any because I feel like you lost a lot of your chunk of mainstream superhero fans with Civil War. Of like people about, hey, I got to spend money on one thing or the other. I'm going to send Civil War because it's a big build-up, right? Mm-hmm. Even June, it's a new month, new paychecks, new jobs. But I don't understand why they felt the need to go right. And there's not even but with Warcraft's not tracking the best, there's Conjuring. I don't think there's a huge movie yet in June. Not that
Warcraft is kicking ass overseas.
But
so.
I'm talking North America. But that same thing, so did X-Men. It made $100 million. International love X-Men because it's kind of weird. But I don't think so because it's kind of a weirder.
Yeah, but I thought they would have. Honestly, I thought Batman vs Superman would have done a lot better overseas.
I know.
Than it did.
I'm still surprised we live in a world that movie did not make $1 billion. That seemed like
easy. Now Kevin Smith says the same thing. But if you look at the quality of the film, why does Civil War make so much money?
Oh yeah, and
they both had huge opening weekends. But people say no, that was really good.
Yeah.
People saw Batman vs Superman it was. Even the most positive reviews were it was meh.
Yeah.
So that's why people are saying, you know what, I heard it sucks, whatever, we'll see it later.
Yeah.
So
I'm just still surprised. If you would have asked me last year, no way would I thought not make $1 billion.
What did it finish off at?
It's not done officially yet, but I think it's 800. I think it's right under the 900 mark. Million. So it's just gonna miss that $1 billion, which is even worse. So that's why I don't think they will, but they honestly should release that rated R version in the theaters and try and get a little upkick to it. I don't see why it would.
I to be honest, I don't know if I'd go see the rated R version in theater. Mm-hmm. I'd rather they did it hey, we're gonna release the extended edition and that's gonna be rated R. And do it on DVD.
The rated R version will be the extended edition. It's
that's
the only reason I don't care about the rated R. I just want to see that 30 minutes and see if it makes any more sense. Because especially if I don't think it will be this 100%. Let's say even if we go in there and it even puts our percentage up by 10 of how much we like the movie. I don't care that it was 3 hours. They should have put that cut out. If I watch that and feel like that's a better movie, they should have put that cut out.
This isn't really superhero news, but I think it's something we should address. So Duncan Jones, the director of Warcraft, who I've not seen, but I'm super excited to see. I fucking can't wait.
This is Liam's hype movie.
I'm more excited about this than any movie. Civil War pales in comparison to my excitement for this movie.
And I'm 100%
live and breathe Warcraft, so I'm excited. But he came out and said, he goes, yeah, you know what? I had to leave about 40 minutes on the cutting room floor. And if the movie does well, then when we put out the DVD, we'll probably do an extended edition.
BVS?
Yeah, BVS. Scott Snyder said the same thing.
Zack Snyder.
Zack.
I wish Scott Snyder was writing
Zack
these
Snyder. And I can't remember, somebody else said that recently too. But it's kind of bothering me that, and I don't know if they've just said this, or maybe this is the editor's fault, but why are you making movies... let's say, because Warcraft, I think, is just about 2 hours. What was BVS, 2:45? Something like that?
I think a little under. I think it was with credits.
Okay, let's say it's 2:30. Okay, we'll say 3 hours with the extended.
Yeah.
So it's why are you making a 3-hour movie that you're not going to be able to put out? Why not tighten up the story and make it 2 hours or 2 hour 30? Even with Warcraft, if you have another 40 minutes. At 2 hours, why don't you just throw in the other 40 minutes?
Yeah.
What's hurting that?
Because the business answer is it can play in more theaters the shorter it is.
True.
So instead of, let's say... Heisenberg agrees.
weird.
Instead of 3, he's itching himself. Instead of like 5 showings, you'll maybe go down to 3 or 2. And that's only from their mind of business.
But I also understand that, but I don't know a single movie theater that actually makes money off movies. They make money off popcorn and everything else.
Yeah.
But from that standpoint, why are you, like, from a cost-wise, another 40 minutes of movies, especially movies like these that are very CGI heavy, that's a lot of money that you just fucking wasted. So if we don't see these extended editions and they don't make some money that way, what's the point? You know what I mean? So it's...
With Warcraft, I'll have to wait and see, because same thing, like, I haven't seen it, so I have to wait and see, like, once I see it, and be like, oh, maybe it feels like there's 40 minutes missing. With BVS, I definitely feel like there's some stuff that...
Oh, yeah, because there's just cuts, and you're like, what?
Oh, yeah, it just makes no sense.
That being said, I highly think that me and you could take the 3-hour cut it down to 2 hours, and make a much better film.
Oh, yeah, we've said it before. Oh, my gosh. Take a lot of stuff out.
But I just find it interesting that they're leaving so much stuff on the cutting room floor that they've clearly filmed and done work for. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not like it's like a documentary where you can afford to do that for like a tighter narrative. Like, this is a lot of money that's going in. Like, isn't the extended edition has Batgirl in it for BVS?
That's the rumor that Barbara Gordon is in it. Yeah.
So, like, the fact that you just, like, you brought in an actor to do all these scenes, and then you cut out her entire part. And it's not like she's, like, a traffic cop that gets to say one line. She's very integral to Batman's story.
It's rumored she's in the chair, too, from Killing Joke, so that's even more so, like... well, it depends, though, because... I don't know if you've ever seen... I don't like the Rogue cut as much as the Days of Future cut. Have you ever seen the one with the Rogue scenes added with Days of Future?
No.
So sometimes it can help, because she was in... Same thing. She was in that for a bunch of scenes, and they cut every scene except for that last, like, ending shot she's in. And it's still good, but the Days of Future Past one's much tighter. So... That was,
oh no, there's definitely some benefits, but
half an hour is even worse than the BS one, because then I'll just be like, man, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But yeah, what do we got next? Well, we spoke a little bit about Infinity War. They're gonna do title changes. They haven't said what they are, and they said the main reason is it's not called Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. They said because that's misleading, and they said that both films can be a standalone by themselves.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring up that point too. This bugs the living shit out of me. They did it with The Hobbit. They extended it for no goddamn reason. They did it with the last Harry Potter for no goddamn reason. Because like the first Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows.
Oh, it's not good.
Well, I wouldn't say that it's not good. It didn't need to exist.
That's what I mean. I don't mean like it's not good in the sense of like a knock knock the room. It's not good. Like it's not.
No. Knock knock is a goddamn classic.
It is, but not like a bad movie. Not good, but I just mean it pales comparison to the rest of the Harry Potter films. It really feels like I watched. And I get that book readers might not feel that way, but I feel like I watched 2 hours and nothing. Like 2 hours. That
and I understand
condensed into 30 minutes and just made that last part longer. You know, people are gonna pay to see fucking Harry Potter. You can't tell me if it was a bit longer.
Actually, admittedly, I never saw the last 2 Harry Potters in theater.
Oh yeah, I only saw into 2 and then I give up.
You know, it was funny because I saw that they were splitting it into 2, and I was like, meh.
Yeah.
Because I think, and Walking Dead, I'm calling you out. Cliffhangers have no point at the end of a season. I don't mind if it's like a week-to-week thing, because then you're talking about, like, Game of Thrones, I think, does that really well. Every single episode, you're like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? Like, oh, that's crazy the way I left that. But I think doing that with movies is such a cock tease.
Yeah.
And I appreciate...
Matrix.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. There was no second Matrix, just like there's no third Matrix. There's only one. But... So, like, I'd appreciate if they actually did the Infinity War, and it's not just, hey, we have, like, a 6-hour movie, let's just cut it in 2, right at the 3-hour mark, now we got 2 movies.
Yeah.
Great, I will make $2 billion.
Yeah.
If they did that, I don't think they will, because I think they're smarter than that. That would really bug me, and that would make me hesitant to go see the next one. Because I'd be like, you know what, fuck you guys, I don't want to give you my money for doing that.
So do you feel like it's just Avengers 3 and 4? Like, do you think they're still playing core? Like, do you think they'll legitimately be... not movies have to do with another, or do you think the first one, even though it's not a part 1, will have a lot more to do with Thanos, and then the second part will be a payoff? Like, do you feel it will still end in a cliffhanger, even though they're like, oh, it's...
Oh, no, I don't think it's going to end in a cliffhanger. It's going to end in a death, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's how they're going to end it.
Cap, for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, I agree with that.
Because what better motivation to get that team back together if you've seen Civil War? No spoilers, but like... Well, spoilers. Sorry, if you haven't seen it by now, skip 30 seconds. But it's been
It's been $1 billion.
Yeah, the team.
Everybody's seen it.
The team is like shaken up, right? So what a better like mulligan to put them back together than like, oh, Cap died. We got to avenge.
Yeah. Well, and like, but also because then you have Guardians of the Galaxies coming with that.
Everybody's coming.
Everybody.
They said 67 characters in total.
To be honest, I also have a feeling that Infinity Wars might be a clusterfuck.
I think
that's going to be too many characters.
I don't after Civil War, and they said they did clarify that it's a movie that they said not everyone's going to get a huge main moment, and lots of people, and especially if you've read Gauntlet, you know that, now skip ahead a minute, that half the population is just killed off like that, and that's what I think that 67, that's around to 68, I think that 34 of those characters are that. 34 of those characters, you see appearance, they're there, you have some emotional connection, boom, gone. Hey, you like that Daredevil TV show? Guess what? Thanos just killed him. And then once they beat Thanos, everything goes back to normal in the books, right?
Which I hate, I think is a cop-out, but
and the movies probably will do it for sure, or maybe they'll do a Days of Future Past. And
although that'd be a good way to reboot the franchise. Hey, everybody's dead.
Oh, then they could, exactly. Or like things are changed, right? It could be like someone waking up and like Tony's played by Oscar Isaac now, and like shit like that. But
I'd watch that.
Yeah, but I feel like half of that cast are like, oh yeah, there's 67 characters. I think they will disappear. I think you'll get your main ones.
Yeah,
like Iron
and
Man.
I think that might detract from it though.
And what?
I think that's really going to detract from it because so how many were in Civil War? There was 12, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So 6 times as many heroes. Yeah. I think that's going to be too many.
But if he snaps his fingers, that doesn't, because then they're gone for that whole
Okay, now you're at 3 times as many. If he gets rid of half of them.
But Thanos you do need to have like a huge fight scene, and I think a lot of people get killed now or taken out, and they'll be doing different things, and it depends which characters make it. Like, I don't know. It is going to be tough. I'm very excited to see how they pull it off.
I'm very. By no means am I saying that I'm not excited to see it, but I think
it has a chance.
If they don't handle it right, I think it's going to be a huge misstep.
But Civil War gives me confidence because I thought that could be a big misstep. And if it wasn't the Russo brothers, I'd be a little like, oh, I don't know. Like, if it was anybody else. And even, like, I'd even still, like, Joss, I'd still, like, say I wouldn't be too worried. I know Ultron wasn't the greatest, but whatever.
Yeah, but I blame that on studios, not him.
Yeah, but even so with the Russos, I feel like they can do it. I'm excited. And the same thing is, like, 67 characters. Like I said, that could literally just be a small cameo by Jessica Jones or Daredevil, and that counts as a character, right? Like, I think that's what some people think, like, oh, man, that many? But I think it's like, that many will appear, but they could appear for, like, 10 seconds. They got to appear for this. Because I don't think Groot is going to be hanging around. He'll have a scene with maybe Robert Downey Jr., but I don't think Groot's going to be in that final fight. Like, there'll be certain people that are gone. You'll have your main ones. You'll have Iron Man. You'll have Spider-Man. And that's what I mean. Do people that were in the first one count as the 67? Because that's what I mean. Cap could be, but if he's not in the second one, that helps, right? Like, I know over 30 is still, like, a lot to play with.
Yeah.
I'm definitely still excited. And then I'm excited to see what they do from there. Like, it's... I know they have Black Panther coming. And
I think
Marvel.
That's... No, and I've been saying this on cast. I really think superhero fatigue is really going to start setting in.
And I think it's going to become its own genre, like a comedy, like
I already think it's become its own genre. We've had these films for 10 years now.
But that's where I feel like that's where Spielberg, when he brings up westerns, the thing is westerns died, and you see one every like 5-7 years.
Yeah.
Where that's where I don't think superheroes film. Obviously, I think at time they will slow, and you'll see less of them. But I don't think you'll ever see, oh man, there's just a Batman film once every 5 years because no one liked them.
See, I think that's what's going to happen because with westerns, it just like the whole market became oversaturated.
Yeah.
But I think also westerns have the ability that they're not tied down to any source material, that you can tell any story that you want. Mm-hmm. But I think what's going to happen is they're going to blow their load. They're going to tell all their best stories, which they already are. And then I think what's going to happen is they're going to be like, we're going to reboot it. But that works with comics. It may work, kind of works with video games. I don't think that's going to work necessarily for films.
I don't know.
I think the average audience is going to say, nah, we've already seen these.
I think they might take the James Bond route and just kind of ignore it. And like I said with Downey, I think when he's done, you'll see that character disappear for 5 years, and then all of a sudden, new actor, and they're not even going to address it. Like if anyone survives, if there is superhero fatigue, and that does happen, if anyone survives, it's Marvel. Because that Disney backing, like I don't think they go away. And the same thing is too.
Good luck, DC.
But yeah, and the same thing is too. I don't think there would be as much as fatigue like we were talking about with Marvel and whatnot if they were the only ones in the game. But it's a problem, and that's why if they got Fantastic Four X-Men back, they could correlate that. If you look at Marvel, they put out only 2 a year. And when you say that doesn't sound bad at all. 2 years of movie. But then it's like, okay, Fox
But it's
gets
not
in
just
there.
them. Then Fox gets in there.
And
then DC gets in
and that's
there.
the thing. But that's why I said if I think Marvel would survive, and those properties would still. I still think in 10 years we'll have at least 2 superhero films a year. I don't think it will be like this because this is a year where we have 6, but we've yet to have a bomb yet. Even X-Men, even if it underperformed a bit, it's no way losing money. International, it's killing it. It's no way Alice in Wonderland where it's like, man, it had a 70% drop in the first one. You know, like. That's when I guess it would just be that time, and like Fantastic Four, it did bomb, but it's like. I'm waiting for a Civil War to bomb, or like a movie that critics love and we all love, and it's like, man, no one went to see that, you know? Because when Fantastic Four, the writing was kind of on the wall, you know? And like, yeah, you can count that as a bomb, but it's a thing of like,
no, that's definitely a bomb.
It's bomb, but it's like, did it hurt the superhero franchise? No, because the next movie
hurt them.
It hurt them. But that's why I said like the second that happens when it's a movie we love and critics love, like let's say Civil War had that at 1.9% rating, we saw it early screen, loved it, and then when we saw opening weekend, it was like 40 million. That's when I'd be like, okay, it's over. But they're still continually making money, you know, and that's what I always throw up too. People said that about X-Men, and even though they brought back the old cast, people said X-Men was done after Origins. And yeah, First Class was a small opening. It didn't have that big period, like, oh yeah, it's done. But then X-Men or Days of Future Past was huge, and Deadpool for different reasons.
Well, in all fairness, Days of Future Past came out of fucking nowhere.
Oh yeah, I know, but even then, people said that franchise was dead, and it's still kicking. So that's where it's like.
But did it have that strong of an opening weekend?
What? It was 110 million.
Okay.
It was at that point it was their second biggest because Last Stand was, and you know.
That's weird.
I think that was. I think because that was
you know what I think might happen, and I think this year's going to prove it. Angry Birds did surprisingly well at the box office.
Tetris going to do good.
Don't even get me started on Tetris. But
they're making a Fruit Ninja game too.
Yeah, well, just wait. So, Warcraft is doing really well overseas. China
Overseas.
has sold more tickets already for Warcraft than for The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
I'm getting my sequel.
But well,
but just wait.
Good for you. At first, it has to be a good movie for me to be like, oh, good for you.
Well,
But
okay,
second of all, Force Awakens just did not do good at all at China. Like, it made money, but like
But
a
that's
lot
'cause
of movies made more
They
than more in
fucking
China.
love Warcraft.
I know, but they like the X-Men.
That's true. But then we have Assassin's Creed, which despite
And
the
Tom
last
Cruise.
trailer, I wasn't a big fan of music-wise. I've seen it recut with different music, and it's a lot better. I think we're gonna start seeing video games being like, people saying, because I remember when the first couple superhero games out, critics hated them. They just thought it was schlock, and now they love them.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is these ones.
But I don't know if they love them now. This year, they're 2 for 2 on Fresh. If you look around Tomatoes.
Okay, but
That's what I mean.
But in all
Those
fairness,
2
everybody also dislikes. No, I haven't seen it, but from what the internet says, people are disliking X-Men.
Yeah.
And
It's very
Batman
fit-
vs Superman was not a good
It's
film.
very 50-50 in BVS. Yeah, but BVS still made a lot of money.
Exactly.
Though.
So
Not as much as
but
it
I think what's
could've.
going to happen is I think video games now are going to really take over as going to be the next big things that might. And these, I think what's going to happen with Warcraft, Assassin's Creed is it's kind of going to be like Iron Man, where it's not just like you'll have like the odd film. I think it's going to be like, oh hey, we could make big franchises on this. They've got good characters, good stories, and they do translate well to a visual medium.
But everyone, according to reviewers, says Warcraft is not a good story.
First
so
of all,
that's where I throw in your
okay,
face. No, don't go in your review tangent.
No. There's 25 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's sitting at a 22% as of this recording.
Yes, as of this recording. I've read all those reviews. I would dismiss about half of them. Just
But
because
there are ones that bring up acting and bring up bad
no, that's true. They do
casting.
bring up acting and they bring up bad casting, but they're also
And
not familiar.
plot.
They're also not familiar with the characters. And the Warcraft 1 story is not the greatest.
But
because
that's the movie's job to do that. It's the same reason why we talk about with BVS. Kyle didn't know who Flash was in that dream. That was the movie's job to say, hey, this is Flash. So he knows because we can tell him.
But I'm saying it's not a strong story. And I played all the games. They originally got that property from Warhammer. No, they were trying to get that property from Warhammer. Then they essentially just like stole the orcs and humans idea, and they just made a really basic video game to come out. Hey, it's orcs versus humans. Like if you play the original game, it has nothing to do with the story that's in the movie or in the novel that it's based off of.
Yeah.
And then in the second one, they said, hey, you know what? We got a pretty cool character. Let's expand it. And then the second game, orcs for I think it's on Strange Tides, or is that Pirates of the Caribbean?
Which one? Are you talking about Pirates?
No, it's the second Warcraft game, but I can't remember what it's called.
Strange Tides, that's a Pirates
Yeah, that's Pirates of the Caribbean. I think it's like On Black Tides or something. And like that came out in like 96, 97. And then all of a sudden they really started to go through it. So this movie just has to do well, and then there are really good stories in the Warcraft universe. But this one is a pretty basic. Like, there's orcs, there's humans, there's fel magic, and they're fighting each other.
But reviews not well, and internet or North American is
North America is not tracking well, and reviews in North America are not good. But everywhere else have been like 6 out of 10 and up. They've said, oh, it's okay. There's some problems.
That's not. You look at Iron Man, which you didn't like. Those were fucking 90s, and this is like best superhero movie ever. A 6 out of 10. I don't think gonna do. And
but this is also
want your
this is
franchise
also
that you like to be the Transformers, the next new, because that's the way it is. Let's say
I don't think it's going to be,
but it doesn't matter.
Because Duncan Jones is
other than
a
you,
smart director.
Who's gonna like it no matter what. I feel like because you're hype. Let's say everyone
12 million World of Warcraft fans.
That doesn't mean the movie's gonna be good.
No, but
there's probably
every single fan that I've seen says no, they do a great job with this movie. Every comic book reader said, no, you know what, BVS was kind of shitty.
But
because we know the story, we know what to expect.
But you can't use that crutch because a lot of people say BVS. A lot of people that like it say, oh, because it's just for comic book readers.
But it's not, because we've read the comics and we know it sucks.
I know, but lots of people say that should not be a crutch for Warcraft.
I'm not saying that's a crutch because I have yet to see it and you have yet to see it.
No, exactly.
But I think we're going to see a lot of superhero movies go to the wayside. I think video games are going to take it because we know it's going to do well in international box office. It may become the next Transformers. We have yet to see it, so we can't say. I think video games are going to take over.
I don't think so. I thought maybe at the beginning of the year. Warcraft, I don't know. But with Assassin's Creed, I don't think so anymore. That trailer got me really excited. But have you heard the report of the movie? How much time is in the past?
No.
What was the future? It's literally a producer. We talked about this GeekVerse. We don't know why they came out and said it's so stupid. He said 65% of the movie takes place in the present in the machine, and 35% takes place in the past when he's an assassin. And that right there, I was like Old Yeller. That killed my excitement right there. I was so excited.
See, that doesn't. To me, it's more how much did Ubisoft have to deal with it? Because Ubisoft is one of the shittiest game companies out there.
They're one of the producing credits when it comes right there.
But there's a lot of people that produce but don't really do anything. I'm talking about how much involvement in this story.
They have a lot. According to Taylor, who runs the Assassin's Creed page, he says they have a lot of their hands on it.
That worries me then.
Yeah.
Because admittedly, the first 2 Assassin's Creed were great, and then they went downhill.
Yeah.
Far Cry went downhill. Everything they've touched now is just going downhill.
And I've not played The Division.
It's because they're trying to cash in on everything. Yeah. And But what else do we have on the old news front?
Well, speaking about video games, I got 2 video games. See if this tickles your fancy. One, did you like the first Injustice game?
Yeah, it was okay. I kind of have an issue with those games.
Yeah.
For how much games cost now, and the fact that there's not really like couch co-op.
Worth.
Yeah, it's not $60. It's like $80 now because of the stupid dollar.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And I liked it. I thought the story was kind of cool. But it was like, you know what? For as much money as I'm paying, I don't get as many hours of it as I wish I would. Yeah. So
I'm about the same. I bought it because cool superhero fighting DC characters.
Yeah.
But I didn't play it too much, but there is a rumor. Hopefully, with E3 we'll know that there is supposed to be another one coming out next year.
Actually, we have yet to get a good superhero video game that's really made its mark. Name one.
The Arkham series, bro.
Okay, I'm saying besides the Arkham series.
Spider-Man 1 and 2 for PlayStation.
They were not that good.
Look up. No. 1 and 2 are fucking fantastic, especially 2. Look up all
Have
the
you
reviews.
played them recently? They do. Okay, and obviously you can't compare because games don't hold up. But no, I played those and they were okay, but they did not make a huge splash.
Lego.
No, Lego doesn't count because everything Lego touches is incredible.
Fine.
That is the best Star Wars game we've ever gotten, with the exception of KOTOR, but a lot of people don't really like RPGs. Some people love them, so. But I'd say, the Lego Star Wars are incredible. The Lego Lord of the Rings is the best Lord of the Rings game we've ever gotten.
I got one more to lay on you, which you cannot dispute. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. I've been playing a lot again lately. Still holds up.
Okay, I didn't really like that one.
They're great.
I know why you like it. Mm-hmm. I think it lacks a little bit in some things.
Story, has RPG elements,
it has elements, but I don't like hack and slash. I think hack and slash is lazy, and I think they could have done better.
But it's a type of genre, and I'd still say they built that genre.
Yeah, okay. I think it's an okay game, but I
think it's a great game.
Nobody talks about that game.
What? You'd be very, very dismissive if you were looking on Twitter. A lot of people are dying. They'd probably kill their mother for a third one.
I highly doubt that. What? But
I would, no.
Yeah. No, by no means am I saying it is a bad game, because games are very subjective, because it's also about how you play it. But it's an okay game. I think it could have been better than it actually was. But So, with the exception of the Arkham series, there's never been...
No. I still say those 2 Spider-Man games, PlayStation.
They're
Doesn't
not.
matter if they're
They're
dated.
not.
No, you can look at any fucking Metacritic, they're up there high. They are really great games, those
Yeah,
two.
so is
the one
Tetris.
based off the movie. Yeah, Tetris is a great game. You can't say that's a shit
No,
game.
but I'm not saying it's a shit game, but it's a very basic game, and those 2 Spider-Mans never made a splash.
Well, speaking of Spider-Man...
No, I'm finishing this point. They never made a splash. Marvel Ultimate Alliance is it's not that great of a game. It's not
great.
It's not like a game like Skyrim where 6 years later people are still playing that game. It's not Grand Theft Auto. It's not a big franchise. The Arkham games are the only ones that are, and out of the 4 they've made, one was a huge bomb. Admittedly, not the same company that did.
I agree they have to work more on those, but I think there's still more than just the Arkham series that is great. And I can't think of the top of my head, but I feel like there's still a couple out there that I'd be like, oh yeah, that was
You've missed it. I would argue that the Walking Dead Telltale games are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But that's a game based on storytelling.
Batman Telltale will be great. The Marvel Telltale will be great.
Are they doing those?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Telltale just has everything.
Yeah.
They're going to do a Pillsbury Doughboy game.
I kind of wish they wouldn't, because I love their old platformer games that they used to do, but I mean, the Telltale games are phenomenal. But no, I think there's a misstep, and I think that if they got into video games like they are into movies...
I think they will now, because I'm not sure if you heard Infinity's closing down.
Yeah, because that bombed hard.
No, it didn't bomb. It cost too much to make. Like, if you look, they're outselling both Skylanders and Dimensions, but it just cost so much money.
Yeah, but how is that really... you're outselling things that like 6-year-olds buy. So
hey,
I know you have like 100 of them, but like that's a game that was like, it's a very niche audience, and it could have been a cash cow.
But my point is,
but it wasn't a good game.
They said now they're going to be licensing out their property games, so that gets me excited. Hopefully for a third Ultimate Alliance, but for other things as well. So if they're licensing out, you want Disney to be making them? I don't want people making Infinity that be making this. It was a decent enough game, but I'd rather, if they're going to have a great game, it's not going to be through their company.
Sometimes when somebody takes over a game, like look at which one was the third Batman game?
Origins?
Yeah, that was not a great game because they shopped that out. But they shopped that out to another developer, and like you see this a lot in video games where, hey, like we've got and there's some positive examples. For example, Fallout New Vegas when Obsidian took over. But there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, hey, we've got a great property. We're gonna let these guys do a game now, and it's look at Elder Scrolls Online that because ZeniMax is the one that's distributing it, but it's based on the Bethesda property. It's an okay game. It definitely lacks a lot to be desired. So.
But Disney doesn't even have like a main studio though. That's the thing where I'm like,
yeah, but still shopping it out to developers, you never know what you're gonna get.
But Rocksteady has always been a thing of like, we didn't know we were gonna get there, and we got the Arkham ones. I don't think Rocksteady will do them. But have you ever played the Infamous games?
Yeah.
There's a rumor going around that Sucker Punch is supposed to do Spider-Man, and that's in my news right here.
I think it could work.
I think that'd be great.
But I don't know. It's they gotta get away from a gimmick when you're doing these things, and make it actually feel challenging with the fact that you're still a goddamn superhero. That's why I can't believe they haven't made a good Wolverine game.
That's a lie! You just brought my head. That one they made based on Origins.
I remember that.
Was so fucking good.
It was so much better than the movie, but that's not really high praise. It was good, but that's another one that never really made a splash. I really enjoyed that game, but it never made a large splash.
Great game.
But
lots of fun.
Okay, you couldn't even remember it. I had to bring it up. But
lots of fun though.
But yeah, that is, and it was a lot of fun.
Wolverine get exploded. You'd see a skeleton.
But see, that's the thing. Like he could literally regenerate. That is like the easiest. So if you want to do a hack and slash with him, if you can do a hack,
okay, but it should be a hack and slash. I don't want no fucking crime like.
No, but I'm saying if you
RPG with Wolverine.
But okay, so you have a hack and slash. So he's just going. He's got his claws. He's got combos, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets shot, but he regenerates health. That's the perfect life gain in any goddamn video game. They do it in every other one. Now we have one that actually makes sense in. Yeah. It's not like COD where you have jelly fly at the screen and then you wait 2 seconds and it goes away.
Love that game. Speaking of, we kind of skipped it because I don't know there was a good transition, so I went there. Bryan Singer. Some people says he shouldn't direct the next one. Some people do. Doesn't matter. He's doing 20 Leagues Under the Sea or whatever that is. I think it's a book.
I don't think don't know what that is?
No, like I don't think I've ever read it.
The Jules Verne. Okay, that's a very famous book.
Yeah, I'm not a book guy.
Yeah, but that's like
I read books about serial killers and wrestlers.
Very famous.
Yeah, but like it's just nothing I ever read. So it's nothing like it's
enough.
like In the Heart of the Sea for me. It's like nothing like. I'm not a big book guy. But anyway, so he doesn't know if he's doing the next X-Men. Do you have anybody in mind? Let's say he doesn't do you have anybody in mind? You haven't seen Apocalypse, but even then, just knowing, like...
I don't necessarily like Bryan Singer as a director. I think he gets...
I do. For X-Men and Usual Suspects.
That's true. The Usual Suspects was good. I think he does things, but I think when he gets...
He does things.
Sorry, let me say. He does good things, but I don't think that he does those things for the same reason that they're good. Like, we're like, oh, we really like that scene, and then when he goes to replicate it, he's not sure why we liked it in the first place. I think he kind of gets, not lucky, but he'll do things and be like, oh, I like this and this and this, and when he thinks is really cool, people are like, no, we really like what you think is lame, and that actually what really works in your movies.
Like what, though? Because he only has one, to me, as of right now, up to debate for, like, mediocre to good to bad X-Men movies.
I would argue... In rewatching,
X-Men is great, but like
X-Men 2, is it X-Men 2 where Wolverine fights those guys
in the mansion? Yeah, X2.
Rewatching that, and you're like, that could have been. I think that could have been a lot better.
What? We talk about this in our best scenes, but like so many people hail that's one of the best action scenes of comic books.
Yeah, and I rewatched that.
Its highest intensity.
Yeah, but there's still no blood in it.
But that's not his fault.
Is it though? He is the director.
At that point back then, it would have been rated R, and you know that. So they have to cut that. You know that his hands are tied.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that it's like I think besides X-Men, there's definitely some things in the X-Men that I don't like. And I know you're a big fan of the X-Men.
Why does the blood have to make that a great scene? It doesn't. No, it's the same way if people complain about the interrogation scene with like Batman and Ledger, like, oh, well, Joker doesn't bleed, and it's like, who cares? Like, great acting's going on there.
You know what's funny? In that scene, I never even thought there should be blood. But in that one, when he stabs the guy through the chest and his claws come out and they're dry, I just find that weird.
But I feel like 2003, you feel like that and a bunch of other blood, they're still going to get a PG-13 rating? I don't. And that was their market audience.
I would also argue that in Borat, which was PG-13...
For us, though, not for America. We're different in Canada.
Yeah, no, they were PG-13. We were 14A.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It says that on the box because I own the movie.
But did you buy it in Canada?
Yeah, and it says in the States PG-13 because we don't actually have PG-13 in Canada.
I'm gonna IMDb
we have 14.
This
okay,
shit.
IMDb it. But I think that he could have done something a little bit more interesting. But who would I want to direct the next X-Men? Actually, I'd be okay if we didn't have any more X-Men. But
I don't understand. I think I asked you this the past couple of weeks ago, and I said, like, didn't you feel Days of Future Past is a top 10 comic book movie? And you said yes. So I don't understand. What's your hate for X-Men?
But that's because of Wolverine and Magneto, not the X-Men. I like certain characters.
You don't like Xavier?
I think he's kind of
Because, and what about X2? That's another one we said is in that top 10 echelon.
Here's what I argue
with Dark Knight.
Here's what I argue with Charles Xavier. And they keep doing this in the movies, and apparently they do it in Apocalypse too. How many times can Magneto go from evil to good at the end of a movie before Charles can just shut his fucking brain off?
Yeah, but you can't say that because that's his friend. And to me, Xavier's all about giving him choice, and you can't give that a crutch because they do the exact same fucking things in the comics. There's a reason X-Men's been going for
that bugs the shit out of me too.
Yeah, that's not a film thing. That's a
no. That's just that's what I'm saying. That's an X-Men thing. There's a lot of things that I don't really like.
Evil the whole time.
Not in Days of Future Past, because in the future they're best friends in the future.
What do you mean?
Like before, when
in the contents of that film, start to finish, he's bad. In the contents of First Class, he's good. Then is bad. In X1 and X2,
but you still get I cannot believe that we fought together for so long. Da 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 da.
You love that line. Don't use that against.
No, I know I like that because it's Ian McCullen. He could read me the phone book and I'd be excited. But what I'm saying is, you have these things in the X-Men, and it just feels like it's repeating itself again and again and again.
I don't understand that because in X1 to 3, Magneto's bad the whole way through. He helps X-Men X2, but it's all for personal gain. It's not like he joins them.
No, I never said, but he goes from they can't work with him to I guess we gotta work with him. Oh, he's evil. I guess we gotta work with him.
That only happens in one movie.
I don't like that, though.
But I think you're reading too much into people that reviews, and you say the same thing about that fall Warcraft, same thing as that. X-Men
No, 'cause
1, he's just a villain. X3, he's just a villain. X2,
But we
they
have
do a
this whole-
buddy thing. That's the only film they do a buddy thing.
No,
in Days of Future
because
Past.
because I'm saying Charles Xavier doesn't stop him once.
But that's a character flaw.
And I don't like that character flaw because it's lazy writing.
I
Because
don't
now
think
you
so,
no
because
because
it's
now
somebody trying to see the
because
best
it
of
gives
Spider-
you ability to resolve a story and then you can start another story, but nothing changes. Nothing changes in the X-Men universe.
You have to see Apocalypse. Things change at the end of that movie.
It's fucking better because
that's-
I don't want to see another X-Men.
That's
because
what
I'm
I'll-
tired of that shit.
But there's first of all, when you say with Marvel and they've gone through a whole bunch of this shit, X-Men has a bunch of storylines they have still not done. So they're golden in the clear for that.
But I don't want to see them because I don't.
But why?
If they want to do another Wolverine movie and make it decent, I wasn't a big fan of the last Wolverine. I thought it was okay. I just thought the ending kind of took away from it. But if they want to do a Wolverine movie, cool. If they want to do a Magneto movie, awesome.
That's First Class.
You know, I mean like a solo Magneto movie where the X-Men are not involved.
But I don't think you'll get that.
I know they will, but I want them to actually use their interesting characters. I think Cyclops is a really boring character. I think, what's her name? The
Jean?
white streak.
Oh, Storm?
No. Also, I think Storm's a boring character. I think she's got great powers. I don't think they've ever written her.
I gotta give you some comments, and you gotta go back and watch the entire run of the animated series, like start to finish.
Okay,
Your mind will change.
Jubilee, another lame character.
Oh, no, I'll agree with that.
Okay,
Fuck Jubilee.
Archangel was kind of too. There's a lot of characters that are just
Angel's good though.
Together
Nightcrawler's
they make
great.
it. Nah, is he though?
Yeah, he is.
I really like him in the movies, in the comics of that I've read. He's kind of like but Wolverine and Magneto.
Cable.
I don't classify him as an X-Men.
But that's where they started.
Yeah, but it's just
Deadpool's
like
an X-Men
Deadpool's an
character.
X-Men, but I don't look at him as an X-Men. But he's also got his own solo shit because he's an interesting character, just like Wolverine. That's what I'm saying. If they wanted to do another X-Men character movie, fine. Not the X-Men. Because I assume they're building up to redo the Phoenix storyline, which I think
Brett Ratner screwed it up.
Yeah, Brett Ratner, X3 wasn't good, but how many times can they fucking throw Brett Ratner under the bus in these movies? Isn't there a line I heard in Apocalypse where it says the third one's the worst?
Third movie, and it's a really good line.
To be honest, at what point do they not just have Brett Ratner CGI'd into a scene with Wolverine beating him to death or something?
But that's the only time they made a joke about. It's because.
But they literally Days of Future Past was to destroy what happened in X3.
Yeah, and it's not just Brett Ratner. That's another case where it's definitely. I feel like a studio wanted to go a certain way. Bryan Singer was not there to kind of shepherd it, because whatever you think about Bryan Singer with 1 and 2, there's a clear these are sequels.
Pedophilia.
What?
And his reported pedophilia.
I'm not going to talk about that because that's completely not this. 1 and 2, he has a clear path of where he's going, and then all of a sudden 3, he's gone. So they just had to.
Why did he leave
to do Superman Returns? So yeah,
not really building a strong case for Bryan Singer to do another one, but
no, but I don't like when people do the parallels to him and Zack Snyder. Superman Returns.
Oh no!
I'm not saying you, but it's just people are like, oh yeah, he's pulling a Zack Snyder. It's like Zack Snyder since Watchmen has not had a good movie. Where Bryan Singer at least has had good to decent.
What came
movies.
first, Watchmen or 300?
300 Watchmen,
okay,
and then he did the Owl movie, and then he did Sucker Punch.
I actually didn't mind the Owl movie,
but it's not a great movie.
No, it's not a great movie, but
and it's animation where it's just I don't know, I don't know.
I was like, I like owls. Cool, I can dig it.
What we'll get, because we'll talk Zack Snyder ever. X-Men, it's gonna happen. It made lots of money. People love the franchise. Who do you want to direct? If you have to see it, ensemble piece, who do you want there?
You know, it was funny. The first one that came to mind was I can't remember his name, but he's the one that did X-Men First Class.
Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah, I was
He's on my list.
What's funny? I was like, but he already did First Class, so I was like, ooh, what's a new director? Oh, Matthew Vaughn. He'd do really good with. Oh wait, no, he did. Mm-hmm. So
I like to see him come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, so I guess I'll
depends
throw
how
his name in.
Kingsman goes.
I fucking love Kingsman. I'm really excited for the second one.
Yeah.
You know what? I could not think of one that could.
I have a few. So
okay, go for it.
This is because he did. You haven't read it, but Astonishing X-Men, people that read it, great run. I don't know if he'd do it. I think he loves the character, so he could. Is Joss Whedon? I know it's a weird choice because Avengers and everything like that, but he wrote for it. He loves the X-Men. He's great with ensembles. I don't think it would happen, but it's just like me like dream casting.
Yeah, okay, I could see that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did he not say he's not going to do another big studio movie for a long time?
Yeah, but then like 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Oh, I'm not opposed to working with Marvel again." And it's like, what?
Yeah,
because but he said he'd want to direct a big budget like female driven action because he wanted to, because way long ago, I'm not sure if you heard this, he was supposed to direct Wonder Woman, and then DC or Warner just canned it.
Man, they had Josh Whedon and George Miller, and they're like, nope, Scott Snyder.
The George Miller one I kind of understand because that's when Nolan was doing his thing, and it's like you would kind of be stepping on Nolan's toes with Dark Knight, and like, hey, we got another Batman going on. It's like that's kind of annoying. Like people are getting that one I get, but Wonder Woman they had no reason to like grab that. But he wants to do that, but no, I don't know. Like he loves the characters. He's done a good job. I had Matthew Vaughn. I think he'll do. This is the new director. I think he'll do probably X-Force, but because of the way he handled Deadpool, I'd actually like to see Tim Miller take a crack at X-Men. I know it wouldn't be rated R or anything, and I think he will do X-Force. I think they'll give him the keys to that kingdom. But the way he handled Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Colossus, that was one of the best representation and the costumes of X-Men that I really, really enjoyed. And he had a good thing of like, they weren't in the movie much, but he kind of fleshed them out to make you have fun with them and care. Yeah. And that's why I think he will do X-Force, so it was just like I'd like to see his X-Men. Like, the second I saw Deadpool there, I would still like to see him mixed in with even the Apocalypse cast, through time travel or whatnot. And I think Tim Miller did a good job of getting most people to get, like, a shine in that movie. The villain, not so much. It's just Ajax, and he's just, like, doing his villainy thing.
When you say, like, I can't think of anybody, like, everybody that I can think of that's dealt with a big cast in, like, years past has made, like, a couple stinkers.
Yeah.
Like, I was also thinking, like, Gore Verbinski, but like because the first two Pirates are which I just rewatched are really good films and I really enjoyed them. There's a big cast of characters, a bunch of stories, would be fun, and then like his last couple were just awful.
Well, he didn't do the fourth one though. Rob Marshall did.
I never saw that because it just looked terrible.
And the third one, I don't hate it as much as other people, honestly.
That movie is way too fucking long. It was like, let's tie up the story, but then leave a whole bunch of things. If this does really well, then we'll do a sequel.
Yeah. I'm excited for 5. Javier Bardem, Orlando Bloom's coming.
I'm not.
What's wrong with Javier Bardem?
Oh, I love Javier Bardem, but like, because the fourth one was...
You said you didn't see it,
I couldn't even... I watched the first 10 minutes of it, and I was like, nope, I'm good.
I love Javier. It's a new director. He's young and up-and-comer.
Well, to be honest, I think they might give it to another up-and-coming director, and I think that'd be kind of the way to go.
They do. They're shooting it right now.
No, I mean, like, the new X-Men. And I was like... Then we would know who the director is.
This was my last pick that I had. I haven't seen it. I still want to. Is Tomorrowland, but Brad Bird, because I think back to Incredibles and Ensemble. I'm excited for Incredibles 2. Tomorrowland, I did not see it yet. That's very in the middle. Some people don't like it all. Some people love that movie. I really want to see it, but I think, and especially at one point, they wanted him to do Star Wars, and he did Tomorrowland. Like, legitimately, no one talks about this, but he was their pick before JJ. Like, it's a really on thing. Everyone loves JJ, and I do too. And I'm happy, and I'm actually happy that JJ got over Brad Bird because JJ's way more experienced. But no one talks about that. Like, Brad Bird was like the chosen one.
So I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna piss you off. I was not a big fan of The Incredibles.
I don't piss me off because it's not my It's in my top 5 for.
Oh no! It's not even in my top 10.
I think it's maybe a 10 out of 10 movie. I think it's in my top 5 for Disney and maybe top 10 for superhero films. But it's not my favorite because Toy Story has that market in my heart. 1, 2, 3.
I loved way more of Pixar's films over that, and I see, especially on the internet, you see a lot of people like, no man, The Incredibles. Oh my god, the second one's gonna be so good. I'm kind of like, eh. I also like the first Cars, which nobody really liked. The second Cars is. I don't know what the fuck that thing was.
See, and everyone I mean loves cars, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong?
Well, I also did grow up in America too, so I've been on Route 66. Like I've been those places, and I like about like I don't know if this is the right term, but the first phase of Pixar movies is all about like telling.
So like what? Toy Story,
Bugs Life, Toy Story, Cars, Toy Story 2's in there, Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. is the shit.
Oh, I really like Monsters University.
Me too. People give that movie too much crap. It's just a fun it was never gonna be. I did not go in there with this better be better than Monsters Inc. Like no, it was just fun.
I thought it was on par with the first Monsters Inc.
I think it's a little lower because I like the scare factor and the gimmick of that, and I
really like the second one. I mean, especially going to university and like seeing how everything would work, and like I thought it was really good. I don't understand the hate that it gets.
No.
I also don't understand the hate that Brave gets, because I really enjoyed Brave.
I like Brave, but it's not one of my favorites. I wouldn't say bored, but I watched it. I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna watch it again.
Oh, see, I would. To me, that was one of the first Pixar movies that really brought me into like a magical world. Like it didn't like.
Whole new world.
Well, okay, you know when you watch Monsters Inc., like it still feels like it's kind of grounded in reality. Same with Toy Story. Like, oh, okay, like that could be happening like a couple doors down when you watch that as a kid. When I watched Brave, like I was totally immersed in this world that they had built, and it just felt so new and different and magical. And like I didn't have anything to really relate to so much in the world. Whereas it's not like, oh, I'm a kid. It's like I'm not a red-haired Scottish chick or a bear. So I really, really enjoyed that. Anything Billy Connolly does, I think, is phenomenal.
Yeah, Finding Nemo was into that phase 1 too.
Yeah, that's true. And it was about like telling stories, and I really like that. In Cars, it's destruction of small town America, and what do we sacrifice as part of ourselves to become more relevant and to survive in this new commodity based world. I think it gets way more hate than it deserves.
Yeah.
Cars 2 does not get enough hate.
I think the reason Brave gets a lot of hate too is because that won the Oscar over Wreck-It Ralph, and that's a crime. And I think that's why it's hate by association. That I have that little like hate for Shawshank Redemption because like it lost Pulp Fiction and I think it was Forrest Gump, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and it was just.
I don't think Forrest Gump should have won.
No, but I think Pulp Fiction should have sure fucking won.
Yeah, but I can definitely. I can see why the Academy picked the Shawshank. I can see why,
but it's that thing of like I don't think this is clearly as good as Pulp Fiction. I definitely has a lot to doing with. I didn't grow up with the movie. I saw it later on when people said, "Oh, this is one of the best movies of all time," and like on IMDb, it's ranked as #1. So when I watched, I'm like, okay, here's the experience. When I watched, I'm like, I've watched it twice, and I'm kind of like, I don't think I ever need to watch it again. Like for me, it really does nothing. Like it's like it's a good. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie, but it's not like it didn't floor me. It didn't be like fucking wow that movie. Like I wouldn't even know if that would be in my top 100. Like,
I also find it. It's a movie that's really easy to make fun of. Mm-hmm. Like I wish that I could tell you, and like
it's a little dated.
Oh no, without a doubt.
Where Pulp Fiction to me is not. That plays like a motherfucking like smooth.
Motherfucking smooth. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but so it's true. But I don't know about The Incredibles 2, and like Brad Bird I think is a good director. I think he wouldn't be a bad choice, but his live action ones haven't been great.
Yeah.
So. And you know what? And maybe that's story, maybe that's cast, maybe that's because I don't know. This happens all the time because it's really and I didn't see Tomorrowland, but it didn't because it just did not interest me.
They didn't tell me what it was about.
Yeah, I still don't know.
Her picking up a locket does not make me want to see the movie. Tell me what.
Actually, you know what's funny? That trailer got me interested. I was
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, that's that. I was like, oh, I'd like to see what's going on. And George Clooney's in this. And then I saw the next trailer and I was like, oh, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
But I don't. And maybe that was a big passion project for him.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just don't turn out. Sometimes you make something that it happens with musicians all the time. You know what? Like I got an album that I'm super proud of, and then it comes out and everybody's like, nah, that's not really why you like you. Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows? Well,
speaking as smooth as a motherfucker, Michael B. Jordan has been cast in Black Panther as an unknown role. Are you excited about this? And what do you think he's playing?
I have no idea.
But hero friend villain.
Oh, okay.
No, I know.
I don't.
I know you don't know him as well, but
I was like, I know a couple Black Panther arcs, and I really, really like the character. He's one of my favorites. But I couldn't tell you about his rogue gallery. Mm-hmm. Fuck, I don't know.
I feel like the villain.
Who else is in the cast? It's him, Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, and then Andy Serkis is supposed to come back as Claw, rumored.
I have a feeling that he's. I couldn't see him as a villain. He has to be a friend.
They may Serkis. I'm like, I can see him.
No, Andy Serkis is my boy.
Do you wonder if it's a Loki / Bear Mortar sort of starts as friend, end up as enemies in the future sort of deal?
I hope not, because I think they've done that.
Yeah.
Or twice already now. And I'd like them to do something new. I think they have an opportunity to do a really unique story of Black Panther. He's our first black superhero in a major role in his own starring movie, and I really hope that they don't kind of go back to the tropes that Marvel's kind of established, and I hope they tell something new with it. So,
but it would, well, I guess the only case, as far as even if him being a straight up villain, it would be nice to him potentially be maybe a villain that would stick around for a while or be another big villain, because with Hiddleston potentially becoming Bond, I don't know if they'll kill him off in Thor 3 or whatnot, but he'll definitely be a little busy, especially the rumors are he's negotiations are going well, and he wants to do it. So they definitely need a new Loki. They need somebody to take that mantle, and like Ultron definitely was not that. Thanos can't be that because he's supposed to be like a one movie sort of villain, right?
Also, I think
this is
kind of an issue that comic books have in terms of movie wise, because you can always bring back villains in comic books. Like,
I think that's
always a way.
Yeah, that's what they should not kill them off so much.
Yeah, like in a movie, it's kind of like if you don't kill them off, it's kind of like that's why I think Batman's also done a good job of it. Is he keeps putting him in jail?
Yeah,
because then you don't have to do like a stupid, like convoluted way, like oh no, he didn't die, he survived that explosion, or bullet to the head, or whatever it is. So I think in a movie, like I know as like a watcher, when you know everyone's gonna die. And that's why like in Civil War when they brought back Crossbones, I was pumped because like yeah, he's still back because and then they kill him right away. But like which slightly that's actually a mark that I have against Civil War because like oh there's another villain that they've killed, but it was like man I've already built up why he hates Captain America. I've already built up his backstory and now I'm invested him in.
And they didn't have to kill him. He could have thrown that grenade and it could have been the same exact.
Yeah.
She could have blocked the grenade through it. Like they could have just knocked him out.
It literally, and then he could have been in the goddamn Forbidden Zone, whatever the hell that base was called.
I know. Like that was my lamest thing. Like this prison with no villains, even though we know there's a few villains still alive. But yeah, I kind of hope. I don't know what he's playing. I guess I'm just happy he's in there. That is
he's a great actor.
That's definitely jumped between that and Ryan Coogler being a part. Jumped to possibly my most anticipated movie. The one that could be fighting is Austin Infinity War, but then also transition is the Thor cast was released. Kate Blanchett,
holy shit,
playing Hela. What is the fuck is it? Carl Urban playing the Executioner / Surge.
I will see anything with Carl Urban.
I know you will. And then Jeff Goldblum as the Grandmaster.
You know what?
That cast, I don't. And Hiddleston's coming back as Loki.
So here's my issue with it.
What? Why do you gotta rain on the parade?
No, you know I love Thor. You know I love Thor. That is such a good cast. They better give him a good fucking script. Because if they don't, and you have that cast, and it's just a mediocre movie, I'm gonna be choked.
Are you saying Thor 2 is a mediocre movie? Because apparently,
I know why I love Thor 2. I know why people didn't like it.
But so you mean if Thor 3 is like Thor 2, you'll be happy?
No, I want it to be better. Okay. I think it has the potential to be better. It would really bug me with a cast because it's not just Chris Hemsworth and Loki. Because you still have Anthony Hopkins. Mm-hmm. Or
you should for a bit.
Yeah, technically.
I don't think Loki killed him in Thor 2. I think he's being held hostage somewhere.
Yeah, but so you have Anthony Hopkins, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh shit! And Tessa Thompson from Creed. She's playing Valkyrie as well, so she's in there. Nice replacement for Natalie.
Plus Ray Stevenson, my boy.
I don't know if he's officially coming back yet, but he probably.
But him and like Lady Sif, like they're all going to be like that's a great cast. Is Natalie Portman back for this? No. Have they said no? She's not back. I'm kind of happy about that.
I don't know if that's because I'm hoping that this is supposed to just be. I don't want to see him on Earth at all. Yeah. Not one bit.
Plus, you do have the Hulk and Mark Ruffalo in it.
Yeah.
You have the potential to be a really, really good movie.
And it's supposed to be they're supposed to be playing off the Planet Hulk storyline.
Yeah. So it's like you have all this cool shit going on. I'm gonna be super pissed if they fuck this up.
Yeah.
But that's probably in the next one. It's that and Guardians I'm most excited for.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, and that's why Marvel's so good. And once again with DC, I'm still like, I don't know about this. Like, I'm worried. But like, when we walked to Civil War, we're excited about everything. But I was like, oh man, Black Panther, I'm so excited. And then it was announced with Lupita and Michael B. Jordan. I was like, man, I always put Infinity War there because that's my big one because I just not even just from quality, I'm just so excited to see how they pull it off.
Yeah.
But there's that, and then it's like there's all these second place ones. So that happened. And then with Spider-Man, I saw them like, man, I'm really excited for Spider-Man and Guardians. I'm really excited.
Because like I could care less about Spider-Man, and I was super excited after Civil War for Spider-Man. But do you have any news for Spider-Man?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll wait for my comment.
Yes, and then there was like Guardians because just the hype of that was I'm excited. And then Thor 3, truthfully, because I'm not the biggest fan of Thor 2, I was just excited, but I was like, but with all these announcements of Blanchett and Thompson and everything like that, it's like, man, is this my most like? There's all these movies vying for second place, and that's so great to have. But yeah, Thor 3, you're right, it has gone to that stigma. They can't screw it up because they have so much good stuff. Yeah. If it's a disappointment, it'll be even more disappointment. Yeah, you know. So you can bring up the Spider-Man because I think I know what you're going to.
I heard Homecoming's going to be about Miles Morales.
No, Sony is making an animated movie with Miles Morales.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So that comes out in 2018.
Okay, because when I read that, I thought they said Homecoming was about to be Miles Morales, and I was
what the fuck?
Well, I was like, they gonna do blackface, or like are they just gonna get rid of Tom Holland right away? Like that seems like
Oh
kind
yeah,
of a waste.
Marvel wouldn't have any problems.
You know, somebody thought about like, I bet you we could do blackface and no one would be mad. We'll still make $1 billion.
No, I think with Miles Morales, I think the animated thing is a good thing to put him in because they're not going to use him in the MCU. I think they're going to use him to hand off once they're done with the Peter Parker storyline. Like that whole thing of like, we're like, oh, what do they do with Tony when he's done? With this, it's easy. What do they do with Peter when he's done? Oh, look, Miles Morales comes in and there's your like handing of the, passing of the torch. So, no, the Spider-Man 2, or the Spider-Man 2, why the fuck am I calling Spider-Man 2? Spider-Man Homecoming news, we talked about this last time, but Michael Keaton is officially back.
Do you think that was just like a big ploy that his agent released to have Mike Marvel kind of panic and be like, oh shit, sorry, here's $20 million more?
I can't remember what the rumor was, but there was what the fuck? There's some rumor about, like, they had a term of the contract and it didn't fall through, and there was somebody or something when I can't remember, it was something to do with like when Robert Downey got signed or something like that like kickstarted it, and then they went after him for more money. So they clearly want him. It's not the same like, oh, we didn't get Keaton, let's move on. They clearly are going after him. So, and like pretty much I guess it sounds like he is playing the Vulture. I'm still on my same level. Like, I'm excited because it's Michael Keaton. I still kind of wish he didn't do it, honestly. Like I said, for me, he's still kind of, there's Batman, and even then, if he's getting paid this big money or big role, and I know he's a bit older, so it's tough, but I'd almost want to be Norman Osborn. Like, they really need...
I think William Dafoe was phenomenal.
He is, and we've still got to do that Spider-Man fan cast, because we got to look at the actors today, and like, but they need to cast Norman. I know people be like, oh, fucking Goblin again, but it's like, Norman's so important too, especially if they were to go like the Thunderbolts route and him like running for president and being like this night, like pretty much he at one point became like Marvel's Lex Luthor, and that's what I want. So he's important, but I'm excited. Like, good for him. Like, do you have any other thoughts on Keaton?
It actually came as a big surprise because when he said no, I'm not going to do it, I was kind of like, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
you've just been in 2 movies in a row that have won Best Picture.
Oh yeah.
His new one, The Founder, looks phenomenal. Like, when I heard that he was doing a movie about the founder of McDonald's, I'm like, well, this is gonna be retarded. But you got Nick Offerman in it, so I'm in a seat regardless. And then I saw the first trailer, and I was like, wow, this is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this. So, part of me kind of wants to keep doing those, but I don't think this is gonna stop him from doing those. But I don't know. I'm also excited that we have more Michael Keaton.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like, he fell apart for a bit. For a while,
he just was gone, and it was so bad because like he's such a good actor.
Yeah,
so, yeah. Like I said, I'm not excited by this. It's gonna make it good. I'll be excited how they pull off the Vulture, costume and whatnot, and see how that looks good. Like, Vulture's definitely not one of my all-time favorites. Like, he wouldn't even be in the top 50. So that's where it's kind of like, oh, Keaton's playing the Vulture. Like,
yeah,
okay, but speaking of villains, I think we got a couple last few pieces of news. So Lex Luthor is supposed to come back for Justice League, supposedly Eisenberg was saying, and or is that you pretending to be shocked?
No, me having a stroke.
Okay, and then also it came out the very early beginning of the month that SteppenWolf is supposed to be the villain for Justice League.
Oh, really?
Why are you surprised?
Because they leaked that trailer like a day after it came out.
Well, no, they put it out because it was them. But this is the thing where, once again, I'll show you Phil in a second, but I'll do like just a mini rant. I'm so mad. It's like, if they were planning, if they had any plans whatsoever for him to be the villain, why the fuck wasn't that in the movie? Why the fuck wasn't that scene when everybody, like, it didn't make as much money, but a lot of people saw BVS. Tons of people saw BVS. Yeah. And they would have saw, hey, this guy holding the mother box is talking to Lex. And it's like, who's that guy? And then it'd make a bit more sense of, oh, he pops from Justice League. He's a villain. But not everyone's seen that scene because it was online. So it's like, and that scene was what? Not even 30 seconds? So it's like, it just makes me feel like they really don't have it planned, because it's like, that to me would be a crucial scene to put in that movie.
They're grasping straws. I really feel that. Like, it's just, I feel like their whole idea is like everything Marvel does has been so successful, and DC's just going like, fuck.
Yeah.
We indicate, nope, SteppenWolf, we're bringing out the big guns.
Well, but is that a big gun though?
Well, but that's like one of their...
I'm not excited for SteppenWolf. He's Darkseid's uncle. Like, why...
Isn't he his dad?
No, that's somebody else.
Okay, but regardless, that's still one of their big bads. Like,
I don't think so.
Well, okay, you got Darkseid, who's like the Galactus for Marvel.
Brainiac.
So... No, but that's like...
Oh, I thought you were going like, who are big people?
No, but I'm saying like he's one of the bigger guys. Yeah, he's not one of the main ones, but he's still one of those big, powerful people.
But The reason I'd say no is because, like, and I've not read every single comic in the world, but I've literally seen him pop up in one of the comics I've read. And I've been reading since I was a kid. And that's where it's like, for a second I was like, I literally had to go Steppenwolf. I had to think about it for literally a second. Any other name, and that's where, like, Aussie would be.
It's funny, when that first came up, you're like, it's SteppenWolf, and all I could think of was actually the band.
I know, that was a big joke of, like, there's Photoshop. But, like, I don't know. I'm not excited. Are you any more excited that, first of all, Affleck and Jeff Johns...
I'm not excited for it at all.
I'm not excited either. I shouldn't say it. But, like, do you feel any more optimistic that Jeff Johns and Affleck are producing, and now Jeff Johns is supposed to be, like... Did you hear about that? He's like the Kevin Feige now, him with like John Byrne.
Oh, really?
Like,
they didn't give that to Scott Snyder? That's weird.
Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder.
Stop shitting on the great Scott Snyder.
No, Scott Snyder is phenomenal. It's very similar.
Do you feel like Johns, there'll be any shift? Do you feel like this is just a whole like make good of like maybe he's already been there, but it's like put the title on him like.
So what you don't? So okay. So admittedly, earlier in this cast, I did say that I don't really like Bryan Singer as a director. The one thing I will give him credit for is X3, not great. He actually made a good film with a great story that managed to retcon the badness of that. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if they're going to try in Justice League to retcon the shittiness of BVS, because they have to address it. They have to address things in it. And clearly, Zack Snyder can't do it, as we saw with when everybody hated Man of Steel and all the destruction.
Not everybody. Some people still like Man of Steel.
Okay. That's fair. Okay, a lot of people do. But a lot of the big complaints was the mindless destruction. And then they just, in the lamest way possible, don't worry, the downtown core is empty. People have gone home from work. Yeah. And like they had to hammer that in. It's like, no, that's not the issue that we had, is that you destroyed it, is that it was mindless and there was no real...
And it happens
conflict
again, too.
And then immediately it happens again. So you didn't learn your lesson, and I wonder if they're gonna have to go into this and be like,
I think it all depends for me on that first picture they released of Justice League, because you remember like the first picture of Wonder Woman and Batman. Mm-hmm. Batman's fine because he's supposed to be dark, but it was like really dark, colors dark. I have a sneaking suspicion that first picture you'll get out of the Aquaman. What the fuck? The first picture you'll get of them all together will be super bright and super optimistic.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know. Yeah. When does Justice League come out?
Next year.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
November, too.
To be honest, I've mixed up all my dates. Because I thought, I could have sworn Doctor Strange came out in, like, June.
We've done this many times on the cast.
So I thought, I still feel like 2017 feels further away. And then when's Wonder Woman coming out?
Next year as well, in the summer.
Does it come out first?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's a prequel.
Yeah, but who knows? They're doing their own goddamn thing over at DC, so...
Definitely will be a ride. I'm definitely, once again, excited / curious for Squad to see how that all pans out. It's always a ride with DC. I can't say I'm bored as far as wanting to see what happens and what happens with their films. They have that.
And I don't think it will, but if Suicide Squad sucks, I think it's going to be like...
Well, if that sucks, then I've kind of given up hope. I will still see the movies, but I'll be
like, I cannot wait to see the train wreck. And if that's the case, let's just say Suicide Squad sucks.
And fuck you, Joker, with your Batman tights. I'm just going to throw it out there. I just got over his look already, and I finally accepted it.
It comes back.
He has these 16-year-old girl like boots and Batman tights.
And boxing shorts.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, now I'm Fisher. I can't like the look anymore. I'm sorry people are going to be like, oh, whatever. That's my opinion. I can't fucking like it if he's walking around Batman tights. Like, it's too much. I don't care if it's mod. I don't care if it's supposed to be a new take. It's there. You can only change it so much. It's been changed too much.
You know what I think is so funny is when you sent that picture to me, I thought that was like somebody's like cosplay, or I was like, hey, they're selling this weird Joker costume, and that's what I thought it was. And then I'm like, oh, ha ha ha, and then you're like, this is a costume from the movie, and I was like, and I think I texted Kyle. I was like, is that picture real? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck? I thought you were honest to God played a joke.
It was at a Warner Brothers like studio thing. They had all the costumes set up, and that was it.
First of all, he had to get those specially made Batman.
Oh yeah, and it's not like Heath Ledger's Joker where he could have sewed it or something. He had to go to like fucking like Hot
Taiwan,
and get it like, hey, can you print this out for me? Like, there's no way, or he had to go online. Like, he didn't stitch it himself.
And you know what? If he just like had like pajamas that were like that, you're like, okay, that'd be stupid. But like built into those like hipster boots that they're tucked into, he's not like
that are like on purpose oversized for his feet. It's like, oh god.
He's got the boxing shorts and a trench coat. Like, everything about the costume is not like, oh, haha, he's the Joker. You know what it is? It's like, the Joker's so random. Like, that's what it looks like. And, like, I just, like...
Well, this is what's happened. Before the announcement and the first trailer, I was like, man, I don't know how I feel about this. And then Joker's look is like, oh, I don't know how I feel. Those trailers helped me. I'm like, hey, accept the look, tattoos. I don't like them. Some are really stupid, but accept it. And then more trailers, like, okay, I'm getting hyped. But now I'm getting back into that, like, man, I'm worried. And this could be really goofy. This could be, like, especially that look, like, there's going to be a poster or a picture at one point in the future of him fighting Batman dressed like that? Like, how am I supposed to take that seriously?
Yeah, next to, like a Ben Affleck, like, just, like, brooding, like, huge. Yeah. And it looks like you're beating up a fucking 14-year-old scene girl.
And it's like, you won't kill these scary-ass motherfuckers, but you're not going to kill the guy wearing the Batman tights that supposedly killed your Robin?
I would kill that guy out of principle. Like, if I hit a villain who goes, I got Batman tights, I'd be like, bullet to the head.
I would kill him just for, like, the safety of fashion.
Not just that. We proved in this universe, Batman kills indiscriminately.
Oh, yeah.
He kills a lot of people. The fact that he now leaves Joker alive makes me question things.
Bet they're going to explain that, like, oh, he was, like, in jail for the period he was killing people, so he got, like, a pass.
That being said, I would laugh so hard if, like, you know what, like, so you see it in the trailer when he pulls the Joker out of the Lamborghini, if he just yells, Martha, and the Batman just stops and he managed to get away, I think that would be okay.
Well, our last two pieces of news are actually comics. We don't talk about too much. We're going to be doing some more comics, especially we don't talk about too much on here. We did DC Rebirth last time. I guess we can actually start on that. You haven't read Rebirth, right?
No.
Okay, but
I haven't read that yet.
I did show you what one of the things is. I told you what the kind of the twist is and whatnot.
Did you see the Canadian version for Captain Canuck?
For what?
No,
I'm going to talk about DC Rebirth.
Sorry. Okay, yeah.
I taught like the semi-twist in Rebirth, right?
Yeah.
So you can skip a minute ahead. How do you feel about them bringing Watchmen into the DC universe? Because before you go, I was like, it's one of these things of like, it's sacrilege, and do you not touch it? But then when I saw it, and it's literally my phone background of Batman holding
I think it's a good image.
Oh, it's a great image. But then when I saw that, I was like, you know what? For some reason, I'm kind of down just to see where it goes.
I don't like it. I really, really don't like it.
And a lot of people are in your camp.
Also, is Dark Horse does Watchmen, correct?
No, it's just DC.
Oh, DC does that? Okay.
They publish it with Alan more than they did those before Watchmen, but they've never ever crossed streams with DC.
I don't think they should, because the Watchmen has its own universe where it's these are the heroes, and they already kind of have their Batman.
But an own universe that DC can't get any money out of.
Yeah, because DC's obviously got to milk it. Yeah.
But Night Owl is not like Batman.
No. But he's like kind of like he's he's anthropomorphic. Oh yeah, I guess like character-wise, but I'm talking
Rorschach
about like
is very much like Zack Snyder's Batman.
Yeah,
to be honest,
you're stuck in here with me, Batman. We're in Times Square.
That out. Yeah, that's why he just made Rorschach again. That's Zack Snyder's Batman.
Yeah,
yes, it's just Rorschach kind of.
Yeah,
really, if you think about it.
So you're a hacks.
Yeah,
but to me, and like the very point of the Watchmen is that they don't have like all these like you have Superman, Dr. Manhattan, clearly the same thing. They've already told this story using kind of analogies to this universe, and I don't like that they're bringing it into it. I guess it'd be interesting to see where it goes, but I just don't think it's going to work. I think
I can be totally in your camp because it's a thing. It's like if people don't like it, I can be like, you know what, I completely get it. It's just a thing of they're doing this whole like parallel universe thing, so like they're going to cross paths. I don't think you're going to get like a Watchmen comic every month. I think they're going to do like a big kind of special for it and go from there. But I don't know, just the. Like, it's just literally just a fanboy, like, fantasy thing of just seeing, like, a Batman and Rorschach together, a comedian and Lobo or anybody together. Like, Dr. Manhattan just sprinkled with any of those characters and him just talking with people. Like, it's one of these...
Blue Wang. I'd love to see if anybody comments on that.
Well, I don't know.
Not often is Travis speechless.
Yeah, and I am now. But, like, and I can completely get why people wouldn't want it, but it's a thing of, I think it is one, DC might test the waters and see, hey, this is a huge... I'm honestly surprised they haven't done it sooner. They did the before Watchmen, and I don't know how well it sold. I imagine it sold well, and they're like, hey, why have we kept Watchmen dead for these many years? And I've not read them because I was just like, I don't need to. I'm gonna now because they're bringing them in, and I'd be interested. I like the Watchmen characters enough.
I've always thought about picking them up.
It's just something that passed me by.
Yeah,
when I, like, was
something's always grab my interest more.
Yeah, and it's a prequel, and I'm never the biggest on prequels because, like, well, I know how this
Yeah.
character ends up. He's gonna die, she's gonna whatever. But so, like, and I get it, and who knows if it's bad, then I'll be regretting it. But I'm kind of open to it, you know.
So
I'm open to
I'll
see
ask
what
you
goes.
this question: Who
Yeah.
would win in a fight, Manhattan or Superman?
Manhattan, because he would just evaporate Superman. I
Yeah,
think
can he do that with Superman?
that's what we're gonna find out. Those are the questions that I want to know.
But that's
Can he just turn himself into Kryptonite? Couldn't he just?
Yeah, could he do
Because to
that?
me, Dr. Manhattan could just beat anybody. I feel like he can beat God if there is a God.
Well, they did it on Screen Junkies and he lost, but yeah, Andy Signore, you messed up on that one. But there's no way Dr. Manhattan loses.
No, but yeah, I'm semi-excited. What I'm not so much excited for, and what we'll see how it goes, is Captain America is a Nazi now. When I first heard about it, I was definitely really like, fuck this. And then my second gear kicked in. I'm like, okay, it's comics. They do this all the time. And then I went and read it. I have the issue. I read it. And I will read the next one to see the follow-up. And you know what? And I get people have the point of, if you don't know what we're talking about, Captain America was revealed to be a sleeper agent for Hydra apparently this whole time. And I get some people saying, you know, it's comics. See the whole story. See how it goes. You know, like, it could end up differently. But I still don't feel that it was... I feel like it's definitely still a crash grab, and I still don't feel like the twist is good enough. I feel like it's just kind of a lame, lazy twist. You know, I feel like it's like, what could we do with Captain America? I know, make him a agent of Hydra. So people throw that argument in my face. I get it. Like, wait to see where the story goes. But I'm still not a fan of it. I feel like it's kind of shock value. And
Yeah,
it's just,
and I think
I'm never a fan of stories like that.
And I think it ruins the character. It's not like, oh, that's an interesting twist, like in Superman Red Sun, for example. Like when...
If it's a parallel universe piece, then sure.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool. And but what I was going to bring before, Captain Connected one. So it's the exact same scene, but it's... And like the same drawing but he goes, I'm not sorry. And that was like... And it was just like... to me, it just seems ridiculous.
There's been some great memes, like the Batman, I killed my parents.
Yeah,
or I
like-
killed Uncle Ben. Have you seen the John Cena one?
No.
It's him standing there. It's like, you can see me. So the memes from this have been spectacular. So
Yeah.
just because of that.
But like, I don't know. It just seems lame.
They have to do it in a really... It has to end in a really well way for me to not ever feel this is lame. I get it. They could do a twist. And this is the thing that worried me when he's like, oh, it's not a clone. It's not this. It's not that. So it's like, they're really setting themselves up for like, okay, it has to be Steve Rogers. Some people have said that he's been like a sleeper agent this whole time, but then he's secretly still been with like Avengers and like going against Hydra and in there working them. But it's like, that doesn't make sense, because how many times would Hydra just let Captain America stop them and be like, oh yeah, that's part of the plan? Like, I feel like it's just going to be really muddled and really kind of lame.
I think it's going to be
really
unsatisfying.
Yeah, and that's where I feel like, to me, if it's just a plot point of something that's not as big as this, if it's unsatisfying, you kind of go, okay, they tried something like Night of Owls. Let's say they did Night of Owls and it didn't end up that well or that good. It's fine, because it did crack the continuity, but not in a way where it affected anybody else. You know, it was Night Owls.
Yeah.
Or the Court of Owls was... Why did I say Night Owls? The Court of Owls was completely new.
Because the second half was the Night of Owls.
It was completely new property, and if it failed, all it did was hurt them. If this fails, this kind of hurts Captain America. You know, like, it hurts his legacy a bit. And like I said, I get what people say, but I'm not a fan of it. I've read the issue, unlike a lot of other people, too, that either for or against it. Like, read it first, and I'm still not for it. I'm gonna read a couple to see how it goes, and if I'm not digging it, I'll stop. But yeah, it seems just kind of a lame kind of cash grab, and it just seems like... And I hope that they do a way out of it, because if they do just go this route of like, oh yeah, he's just a villain / Nazi, that's really bad. Like, that'll be one of the biggest mistakes they ever made, even if they retcon it years later.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I've been trying to think, like, is there any way they'd be like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if they did that? No, there's not.
But it's not.
Because no matter what, it's going to feel very unsatisfying for him to say that and then not have... And you know what? Maybe it's... I'm not a good enough writer or creative enough to think of, like, maybe they surprised us.
Yeah.
But I can't see any way.
No.
Without it being like, oh, that was, like, it was okay. I can't see it ever being more than, nah, it was alright.
Yeah.
I was like, it could have been better.
Where it's like, man, that was worth the ride. you
Yeah.
know? So, but it's
Yeah.
a good way for them to get issues, comics, stuff like that. But yeah, that was the May's biggest news and whatnot. I don't know, truthfully, which one Dynamic Duo episode is coming up next. It's either going to be about some comic books or it's going to be about some 5 greatest scenes, because that's not come out yet. But yeah, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube. We're live streaming there now. E3 is in 2 weeks. We're gonna be doing.
I'm so excited for E3.
Liam's gonna join us for a couple episodes, specifically Bethesda, if you're free.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna be doing around like 8 to 9 podcasts that whole weekend. So we are.
I hope you like us. Because you're going to be hearing a lot of us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do. Our goal is to do a podcast for every press conference that happens. We want to give as much coverage as we can. We're big gamers, so yeah. Until next time. Actually, Liam, did you have anything you want to say before we close out?
No.
Okay, I didn't. I usually do, and then I didn't. Whatever, but
because we did a recommendation. So no, I'm just happy. Happy to be doing this.
But yeah, the next one will be at the end of June. From then, well, Liam will get to have a satisfaction of Warcraft being out. I'm sure there's going to be lots of other superhero news. We will not hear from you till June, but I promise you it will not be boring.